How to become a super affiliate in your market, in your niche, in your industry by working with the big names, even if right now you're starting out, even if you're relatively unknown, even if you're not a celebrity. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you what I did in the recent months working with authorities, big names, people of huge lists, and what it is that you can do to model these results. By the end of this video, if you were to utilize these strategies that I did, you'll be able to build a huge list, start making connections with big names, as well as make a lot of money through affiliate marketing by being a super affiliate. So real quick, here's what happened in recent months. In the month of April, if you have been following me, you'll notice that I did a webinar with Brunson promoting his product. And then in May, I did another webinar with DanLok. And just earlier this month, I did a webinar with Morrison. Now, let me walk you through how just these 3 webinars did well over $500,000 in sales, and what it is that you can be doing even if you don't know anyone right now, how you can model and replicate these results. To understand this, we first got to understand that there's a process for this. If you watch till the end of the video, you will discover why most people fail in being a good joint venture partner. Because most people's joint venture strategy is sending a DM to someone saying, hey bro, I've got a great product, would you like to promote me? And if you send a DM like that to any author, celebrity, expert, anyone with a huge following, guess what's going to happen to your message? They're not even looking at it. So the question really is, if you want to become a super affiliate and do it in a big way where you could potentially get 6 figures, and I know that sounds like crazy money, crazy talk to some people, but let's say you start with 4 figures, 5 figures, highly scalable. So step number 1 is coming from the angle of, who do I want to work with that is in my dream 100? Right now, understand that there is an author, an expert, a celebrity in your market that has got a following. That chances are, because of that following, if you could work with them and give value to them, and that's the key word here, chances are they will want to work with you. The question is, what value can you provide to this Dream 100? And when I say Dream 100, this terminology originated from Chet Holmes, who talks about how in every single market, there is your Dream 100. This could be an expert, a celebrity, a thought leader, an author. So who are these people that you could give value to, that you would like to work with them, where they have an affiliate program? So in the 3 different examples that I gave you, Brunson, Morrison, DanLok, they all had an affiliate program where if you referred people that buy stuff, their products, their programs, their software and services, they'll pay you commission. So start identifying and getting clarity on who it is you want to work with. For me, I'm very clear on who are the people that I would like to work with and the people that I can give value to, that I believe in them as well as their product. And once you identify who these people are, then the next question is coming from the angle of delivering value. So most of the time, the reason why people fail in JV partnerships is because they're not starting the relationship off with giving. Most people start a relationship by thinking about, what can I take? So that's why most people, whenever they send a Instagram DM message, it's always coming from the angle of, I've got this great thing, promote me, and what can you do for me? But what if you swapped it around and came from the angle of, this is what I do and I would love to be able to deliver this results for you. Now, what would this result be? This is when you're going to tell them, I would love to be able to promote you to my audience. Now listen, I'm literally giving you the pitch right here, so that I can help you sell more of your product name, more of your software name, more of your service. So what you're going to do is, once you've identified who these people are, and you're coming from an angle of delivering value, you're going to pitch to them, but now coming from the angle of helping them make sales. For example, now think about that person that you want to work with, and what you're going to say is, I know that you have product name, service name, software name, and I would love to help you generate potentially hundreds of sales by promoting you to my audience. Now, even if you're just starting out, hanging on for a second, let me show you how that's done. Then the next thing once you identify that, is you got to think about number 4, how can you reverse engineer and understand the numbers. So it's really important that you understand your numbers even before you do anything. Now this is to protect and safeguard you. So what does this mean? Now when you pitch to them on how you're going to make them money, what you need to do is understand and broadcast and forecast rather these numbers beforehand. So what numbers do you need to know? So let's take the Russell Brunson example. My goal for the webinar with Russell is I wanted 10,000 people registered. Now all in all, I think we had slightly over 11,000 people registered. But let's say you want to start smaller. Let's say 10% of that. So let's say you want to have 1,000 people registered for this webinar. If you want to have 1,000 people registered, you got to ask yourself, well, how much is this going to cost me? On Facebook, on YouTube. In most cases, if you watch my other videos, the cost per webinar registrant is approximately $5. Now this will vary and differ depending on which countries you target. Sometimes, if it's an extremely cold audience, it could be more, depending on what niche you're in as well. On average, it's about $5. So that means it's gonna cost you $5,000, okay? If you wanna have 1,000 people registered. Now, 1,000 people registered, you need to start understanding based on, let's say, that webinar page that you create for that person, what would be a standard show-up rate? Now, a standard show-up rate today is approximately 20%. So that means if you have a 20% show-up rate, you would have 200 people show up live. Then the next question you got to ask yourself is, the person that I want to promote, how much is this person selling the product for? $500, $1,000, $200? So in fact, these 3 price points were the same price points that all 3 of them utilized. So these are very common price points, right? $500, $1,000, $2,000. So let's say this person sells his or her product at $1,000. So let's say $997, which is also a very common price point. Then you got to understand at this price point, what is this person's close rate? So this is when you want to be really clear about, is this person good at marketing, selling, and closing? There's a lot of people out there who could be great on camera in terms of content, but when it comes to selling, presenting, and closing, they're horrible at it. Okay, so you need to have a rough gauge to whether this person is good at selling. Okay, so let's say you can find a person with, say, a 5% close rate, which isn't horrible, isn't that great either, right? So I want to be conservative here. So that means if there was 200 people that showed up, 5% conversion is how many sales? If it's 10 people, it would be 10 sales multiplied by $997, and that would be approximately 10K, nearly 10,000. So what does this mean? It means that if you could spend $5,000 and get back 10K, understand that it is very, very common that the person that you're promoting, so it's a 50-50 split, and that's the terms. So what does this mean? It means that you would have about 5K, slightly a couple dollars less. So you would have essentially spent let me just kind of move this a little bit, okay? Oops. So far, looking at this, what has happened? We have established that we spent $5,000 in ads. We have established that we got back $10,000 in sales at a 5% close rate. Now this would be higher if the close rate's better. This will be higher if the show-up rate's better. This will be higher if, let's say, your cost per webinar registration was lower. Depending on what these numbers are, the metrics and the KPI set here, you would have essentially spent $5,000 and got back an affiliate commission of $5,000. So it looks at first glance like nothing happened and we just broke even and it was a complete waste of time. Well, not necessarily. 2 things that happens if you just break even. Okay, what are the 2 things that happens? Why is it a win? Well, number 1 is you just built a list for free. You just got 1,000 people that registered on a webinar that gave you that name and email, and if you continue to build this relationship and nurture this relationship and add value to this people, real people, guess what happens? Eventually, in future, when you promote something else or when you come up with your own product, they would buy if you treat them well. And you've heard me say this in my previous videos, that The money is in the relationship that you have with your list, and 1,000 people in your list, real people, is approximately worth $1,000 a month. So now you have a list of real people that actually registers and attends webinars. And by the way, this is just on the front end. This doesn't include the fact that you could have a follow-up email sequence, you could have the replay, and usually the replay will usually have and give you approximately 25 to 50% extra sales in your follow-up process. Usually in your follow-up process, you can get another 25 to 50% more sales. So this could be eventually $7,500 to you. Now this is the first thing that happens. You're building a list for free. Now what is the second thing that is taking place right now? Number 2 is you're actually building a relationship with the JV partner. Now this is extremely powerful. You see, for me, when I ran these different webinars and how I choose to work with different people, I'm not thinking about the money. Well, of course, the money is great, but I'm also thinking about how can I add value to these people that I want to work with. Because can you imagine if you did this once every week? Which sounds insane, but this is a great way to build a list. But at the end of 52 weeks, do you know what would have happened? Even if it just broke even, at the end of it all, you would have built a relationship with 52 different people where you added value to them. And after a year, if you came up with your own webinar, your own product, your own offer, and now you pitched it to these 52 people that you started the relationship off with by adding value first, what do you think is going to happen? What is the likelihood now of them, number 1, replying to your messages, your emails, and number 2, promoting your product? Now, of course, not all 52 might reciprocate, but a good percentage would at least entertain that idea. Why? Because you started the relationship off by giving value first. So you got to reverse engineer your numbers and begin with the end in mind. Now, you don't have to do what I did. In Russell's example, we had about 11,000 plus people registered. About 30% of people showed up, and Russell crushed it. Now, in order to start small, remember this, if you're starting small, is 1,000 people. If this is too big, you can scale down. Start off with 100 people, 200 people, 500 people. You don't start with the top tier. If let's say, if there was like a hierarchy of different leaders and authorities, and right at the top is the Pope and Batman, you don't start at that level. You start with people that is just one level above you. And by the way, this is not theory. This is literally what I did in the last few months. Before I move on to number 5, hey guys, if you like these type of like case study videos, let me know in the comments below what your takeaway is, what your feedback is, because if you like these type of videos, I could definitely do more of these style of videos where it's more case studies and what it is that I did. And make sure you smash the like button if you've gotten value so far. It does help the channel out a little bit. And make sure you subscribe. You'll also notice that in this entire playlist of affiliate marketing, we have literally been giving out $100 to comments, people who are either the first to comment or been giving quality comments in here. So I would love what your takeaway is, and if you get selected, you get paid $100 straight to your PayPal just by watching our videos. Back to this example. So what it is that I did, same thing here. I wasn't just sending it to my list, I was running ads. I was running ads to the funnel. We will build up the webinar registration page, run ads to the funnel. And what if you could literally just model this? By the way, if you want to have the webinar sales process and funnel, the same thing that we are utilizing right now, check out the description box below. We're literally just going to give you this share funnel so that you can model and implement it with potential JV partners that you want to work with. That brings us to number 5. Now, once you have clarity on what it is that you aim to do, your KPI set, once you do that, once you understand your numbers, that is when you actually roll out these pages. Understand something. What you're really doing as well is you're building out a portfolio. So if anything at all, in fact, I could probably add a number 3 over here. Number 3, why would you want to do this even if you are just breaking even? Remember, building a list, your established relationship, but you are building a portfolio of people that you have worked with. Can you imagine how much easier it would be now that you have gotten a decent sized list. But now you can actually say, in the past, these are the people that we have ran webinars for, and these were their numbers. So you can turn the case study, adds into your portfolio. And finally, number 5, this is when, number 5 is thinking about how we can make it a win-win, reciprocate. Now, this is an eventuality. It's not about like quid pro quo, like because I'm doing this webinar, you gotta do this thing for me. But the way to think about it is, now that you have done this with them and you added them value, then now it becomes a whole lot easier if you want to call back favors. If you have a launch that you would love for them to support, it becomes a whole lot easier. Okay? And that's what you want to be able to do when it comes to JV marketing the right way. It is not about going out there and hustling and closing. The way to win at this game is to start off by making it a win-win. And when I say win-win, it's about making them win first, coming from the angle of utilizing this 5-step process by delivering value to them first, so that eventually, when you have a list, when you have a product, when you do a launch, that is how you get these big names to work together with you. Hey, this is Peng Joon here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this affiliate marketing case study, and I will see you in the next video.